Right, so at the end of week 1, you have now gotten a good start with Julia. So there's a couple of things that you need to make sure that you're really on top of. In particular, you should be able to use the Julia Box website, or if you have iJulia on your own computer, iJulia, and the notebook environment where you can set up a code box and enter your own code and execute the code with Shift-Enter. You should be entering a lot of your own code and practicing, and the expressions that you form, arithmetic expressions, logical expressions, that is what you really have to become competent at. How to use the operators, how to use the delimiters. That is, if you want to multiply 2 with 3 plus 4, where do you put the parentheses? Where do you put the plus? Where do you put the multiply? That is the kind of thing that an expert coder does very quickly. And they become expert by doing it many, many times. So as you're learning to use these expressions, of course, you're starting to learn Julia in its powerful ways. Unfortunately, from time to time, you do make a mistake. We all make mistakes. And then you suddenly see all this red, and Julia throws an exception. And that is why we have this talk about types. The type system in Julia is complicated and intricate, and we are not trying to learn it now. But when you see these errors, you might think that, oh, it's talking about type, and I have to find out exactly what the type is that I did use and that I should have used, whereas in fact, it was a completely different error you made. And you have to go back to your code and examine the code that you wrote to see why it's not doing what you set out for it to do. Writing all this code, you are writing functions. You should practice the one-line functions, the multi-line functions, and you should use, again, the Julia notebooks to achieve that. As you go along, you might find that you would like to have more resources, and this course has very good resources on the course website. There's an FAQ, discussion forums, glossary. If you want to go to other Julia resources, there's the Julia language website. There are the Julia forums, where you can chat to lots of other people who may be in a similar position to you, and you can find out how they do things. You can get some support just seeing that there are lots of other people interested in Julia. There are some additional videos available for those people who still would like to install iJulia and have not yet succeeded to do so. They're available through the course website. So please make sure that you do all your assignments, your quizzes. The graded quizzes are there to just give you an idea of how far you've got and whether there are things that maybe you haven't fully grasped yet. Please make sure that you do all the graded quizzes and all the practice quizzes. The graded quizzes resemble the practice quizzes, and the practice quizzes are set up so that you can keep track of how your learning is going as you go along. So once you've fully mastered week 1, you can go on to week 2.